Hello, divine creations, divine marvels, children of God. Uh, Merry first day of Christmas. Yes, it's December 26th, which means it's the first day of Christmas. What? Well, the Christmas season traditionally goes from December 1st to January 6th, and the day after Christmas starts a very special time, which is talked about in the song, The 12 Days of Christmas. Bruno himself said that that season of grace does extend all the way through January 6th, starts December 1st. So, merry first day of Christmas. I hope you get a partridge in a pear tree. That's referring to the song, The 12 Days of Christmas, for those who don't know. So, and also anyone new to this channel is dedicated to the life, work, and teachings of a very special teacher named Bruno Groening, who's very dear to me and very dear to many of us. You can find out more about him on my website, thehealingstream.org. So what I'd like to talk about today is that sometimes healing takes time. This is not the most fun topic. The most fun topic is, when you just give a burden away and it just goes and it's just instantly healed. Or you give a burden away and you tune in once and boom, healed, done. I've experienced it. It's wonderful. And most healings don't work that way. At least they don't for me. And they don't work that way for most people I've encountered, though it does happen, and it does happen frequently. So I'd like to share actually, Bruno himself said that we need to endure the regulation pains, that is part of the healing, part of the cleansing. And Bruno taught, he said, I ask of you not to set the time for which a healing occurs. So it's not up to us. What's up to make a healing happen. It is up to us to seek and strive for that healing. So that was a very hard pill for me to swallow. I wasn't taught that initially. Initially, I was taught just tune in and it'll happen soon. But and that's true sometimes. That's not a completely false teaching. It's just an incomplete teaching. So I'd like to share my own process with integrating two of Bruno's teachings and how long it took me. And so one of them is that everything will be okay. That's an exact phrase that Bruno once used when Bruno gave an example of, if you have a problem, go to someone who knows the truth. And what this person will tell you is, it's good that you came. You don't have to tell me about your problem right now. If you want to, you can tell me tomorrow, and everything will be okay. He also taught, oh boy, I'm forgetting the quote right now. The good will prevail. That's a very simple statement, but a very strong statement. The good will prevail. What that means to me is that good will overcome all problems eventually. Again, the timing isn't up to us. So when I read that, I was blown away. The good will prevail. And everything will be all right. And so I really sat with that. I think I found that teaching somewhere around 2015, 2016. And it's literally taken me 8 years to I won't say fully, to deeply take that to heart, to really not just believe, but really trust that in the end, everything will be healed. Everything will be redeemed. It took me 8 years. You guys have heard me say that so many times on this channel. The good will prevail. And and maybe not as many times, but Bruno's teaching that everything will be all right. And of course, Bruno's teaching that this is to such an extent that all problems will be healed and solved here on this earth, and that paradise will be restored to this earth. It's literally taken me 8 years not to intellectually believe it, but to really take it to heart and say, yes, that is true. I trust that. I trust that completely. I don't say completely, because I'm very much a human being and have my moments of feeling disconnected from God and moments of doubt. The other teaching that's taken me even longer is the teaching that only things that serve as a lesson are allowed to happen. Or said another way, all things serve the good. That in essence, God doesn't allow anything to happen that in the long term isn't of benefit or doesn't serve the good. I found that teaching in, I think, 2014, and it's taken me 10 years. Intellectually, I believed it, but to really take to heart that every painful thing that happens is part of a learning and to some extent a healing process, but definitely a learning process. Sometimes learning is just smooth and it flows, and sometimes it's bumpy and crunchy and painful. So I share all this because patience is a component of faith, right? So the easy way to think of faith is to trust in the goodness of God and to trust that everything will be okay. And to trust, as I just said, that all things serve the good. So that's maybe the first level, but then the second level is patience. To really, because once we trust that everything will be okay and all things serve the good, then comes the process of enduring the hardships or enduring the regulon, trusting that everything will be okay. What's there's a word for that, to forbearance, maybe is even a better word, that when painful and challenging things come, we bear it with faith, with trust that it will be healed and that this serves a higher purpose. That's the word I was looking for, forbearance. It is not an easy thing to do. I'm starting to experience it in my life, and it's so sweet because whenever problems happen now, this is starting to happen. As a problem happens, I go to a place of faith, like, oh, this is hard. Oh, this is painful. And this serves the good, and this will heal. Then comes the hard part, just being patient and having faith and continuing on with my life with optimism that the problem will be solved, that it will be taken care of, that what's happening is part of God's plan for my healing and awakening. So let's sit together for a few minutes, taking in some of the, in this practice, we're always taking in grace, or that's the practice, to take in grace, but to take in the extra grace of the Christmas season. beloved source, our dear friend Bruno, beloved Christ, please help us to meet challenges with faith. Help us to endure the regulungen pain when that is sometimes that's part of the healing process. Please help us to trust that all things serve the good, and in the end, all things will be well. Bruno, you said we cannot readily fathom the goodness that lies in wait for us, or that God has in store for us. So please help us to have forbearance and patience and continue to strive for that goodness and to expect it, to have spiritual optimism that our Maker and fierce friends such as yourself will ensure that goodness will prevail. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you to everyone who joined in live. Thank you to all the people who watch this. Merry first day of Christmas. Blessings to all of you, and I'll catch you soon.